out. Most people don't know that dumb has a B, okay? But the U replaces the E, and you have a Democrat.
I didn't think this clip could get any stupider. I think he sounded smarter when he was sleeping a minute ago. All right, everybody, this is quite the sight to see on screen. You see a rabid Pete Hegseth over on the right, ranting and raving, trying to sell his new $1.6 trillion military budget to some investors at the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit. On the left-hand side of the screen, you see our sleepy, crusty, elderly president falling asleep as he always does, right before he tries to sell the very same $1.6 trillion military package, which purpose is to refill the missiles we've been wasting on the Iran war, send more money to Israel unconditionally while they bomb children in Gaza and create settlements in the West Bank, go to more wars on Israel's behalf that Donald Trump is then unable to get out of because he's too busy falling asleep at these conferences. I mean, look at this. I'm playing a video right here, and he's just laying there. They're going to say he's resting his eyes or he's blinking, but he's falling asleep as he always does. Over and over and over, we see clips of Donald Trump straight up falling asleep at this summit. This is a separate one.
But that next midnight hammer that's required 10, 20 years down the road is because of the F-47 and the B-21 and the autonomy and the carriers that this president will build because of this.
Oh my God, this pseudo bravado coming from Pete Hegseth is nauseating, but when Donald Trump starts to speak, it gets even worse. I also want to point out him falling asleep is a long time pattern.
He has one ability I don't have.
Yeah.
He sleeps. He has an ability to fall asleep while on camera. You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera.
How do we
Watch this, clip after clip.
60% of the country's seafood. We're the state with halibut, thousands of individuals. Everyone has had fish from Alaska, we know that. But this is an example, again, of putting America first, workers first, and really this country first. And so
it's not just scary that our president is sleeping. It's scary that he's sleepwalking us into a war with Iran that we are 137 days into. 137 days into, after he said it would be a 4 to 6 week war. We've gotten zero concessions, and this is the president every day.
Of warmth, of a job, an economy, a community, a family. And for too long, you saw Democrats who were telling these coal miners that they should just learn the code. And what we saw during the Biden administration at the EPA, for example, was regulation after regulation after regulation trying to strangulate out of existence.
Is this guy stoned in the Oval Office? Every single clip, he's leaning over like he's about to fall asleep. Again, here.
Things like Venezuela can continue to be done to reestablish deterrence around the world. But that next midnight hammer that's required 10, 20 years down the road is because of the F-47.
The problem is he's falling asleep while the economy is crashing, while he's at the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit selling more wars to more war criminals to continue to try to take our country into ruin.
During the earliest years of their children's lives. Second, we are cutting unnecessary red tape that forced providers to close, limited access to care, and made it harder for working families to find the support they needed. We're moving away from one-size-fits-all federal mandates and instead empowering parents to meet their child's unique needs.
Okay, enough clips of Trump sleeping. Let's hear what he actually had to say during this summit today. He begins off by selling this new package, $1.6 trillion to the military, up from our roughly like $950 billion budget, already very high. But he also says that affordability is entirely a hoax.
In another way, many people would be killed during Mardi Gras consistently, and now it was the safest they've had, he said, in 67 years, so it's pretty good. But we're going out for the $1.5 trillion this year, and I think we're going to be able to get it. And we're going to get it because we have so much money coming in. The tariffs have made this country so rich, and they've made this country so competitive. In order to not pay tariffs, people are coming out and they're leaving Mexico, and they're leaving. In fact, it was just announced that Toyota is leaving Mexico. Toyota is going to build one of the largest plants in the world, car plants in the world. We inherited the highest inflation in the history of our country. And it was really amazing. You know, we inherited it, and then I had my first news conference the day after I took office. And they said, affordability, affordability. They go, That's a fake word that they use. They caused the affordability problem.
All right, so the person who came into office and then put tariffs on every single country, therefore spiking inflation even further, spiking unemployment, going to a war with Iran that spikes gas prices, is now saying that affordability is a hoax and that his tariffs are making us incredibly rich. He's lying. He's trying to tell a baseline lie before he gives this pitch to have a $1.5, $1.6 trillion military budget. It is absurd. And keep in mind, we already have a nearly $40 trillion national debt. We pay $1 trillion per year just on the interest for that debt, just to service it, just to keep it up. That is one of our largest expenses. You can look it up. That means we don't have money to invest in healthcare and everything else because of policies like this.
It's called high prices. They came up with this word. They're good at coming up with words, but we came up with a good word too. They're Democrats, dumb. You take the B out. Most people don't know that dumb has a B, okay? But the U replaces the E, and you have a Democrat.
I didn't think this clip could get any stupider. I think he sounded smarter when he was sleeping a minute ago.
Yeah, most people don't know that dumb has a B, okay? But the U replaces the E, and you have a Democrat.
I didn't think this clip could get any stupider. I think he sounded smarter when he was sleeping a minute ago. The economy is in a terrible position. If you look at any macroeconomic indicator, from inflation to GDP to job growth, it is all in an awful position. And Donald Trump is lying to try to sell his failing Iran war.
We used to go million, then we went billion, now we're into the trillions, but there's never been anything like it. The country is as hot as it's ever been, and we're doing really well with Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is not happy right now. Should have been done 47 years ago. Should have been done at least during the 47-year period. And it wasn't. Other presidents didn't do what was right. They should have done it a long time ago. It would have been much easier. And they want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
He's been saying they want to settle badly for 150 days, but the reality is he's the one desperate to settle.
Want to settle, we'll find out whether or not we settle with him or we just finish it off. But I want to thank Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He's been amazing. Pete, thank you very much. Great job. He's been really amazing. You know, he used to do interviews. All he wanted to talk about is war. Sir, would you give a pardon to 19 soldiers? Why? Why? Well, they killed a lot of people. They were trained to kill, and that's what they did. And I pardoned a lot of people. But they've all been well behaved, right? Okay, good. Otherwise, it'll be a big story.
I mean, no. About 9 of the January 6ers that you pardoned have reoffended children. A few more have attacked cops. 1 got killed near where I grew up in Indiana. So no, the people that you pardoned haven't been doing well. They've been hurting, scamming, killing Americans and harming children.
Trump shouldn't have let him go.
But in this case, he seems to be telling a story of a bunch of troops that killed people or committed war crimes that he wanted Trump to pardon. Pete Hegseth wanted Trump to pardon.
No, but I'm blaming you, Pete, okay? But he was very successful, actually, on television. I think he probably hated it because he can't love anything more than what he's doing right now, and he's doing it incredibly well. So great job, Pete. Appreciate it. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler.
Okay, he said Kelly Loeffler and not Nicki Minaj this time, but at the end of the day, Pete Hegseth is also responsible for this failing war with Iran, along with our president, who can barely stay awake, and J.D. Vance, who's now trying to distance himself by pretending he's not a part of this, by saying that he's distanced from it, distancing himself from the Epstein. This is J.D. Vance being asked about Jeffrey Epstein and saying something unique.
Well, most people think he was Mossad.
Yeah, Mossad or CIA or some other deep state, whether in America or Israel or another country, or both. You know, look, he clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence.
Well, most people think.
Why is he saying this like it's clear to him, but not releasing the rest of the files? We know about his connections to Ehud Barak and some American intelligence officials, but there seems to be more here. You're just going to go on and conspiracy theorize with Joe Rogan rather than releasing the files? I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate this, drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you all later. Peace out.